National Fentanyl Awareness Day. This morning, we're taking a look at how the deadly opioid has left its impact not only on our community, but also towns and cities all across the country. Good morning and thanks so much for tuning in to your ABC Big 2 News at 11:30. I'm Madeline Dunn. The deadly drug fentanyl continues to take the lives of people all over the country, with the number of overdose deaths growing even more in recent years. In 2021, the last year we have information available from the CDC, fentanyl killed over 100,000 people in the U.S., killing nearly 5,000 people right here in Texas. Fentanyl, a highly potent opioid, is often pressed into counterfeit prescription pills or cut into street drugs such as methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine, with users not knowing that it's in there. Drug addiction experts say that illicit drug manufacturers cut fentanyl into their product to make it more addictive and to cut costs. 2 milligrams, that's all it takes to kill an average adult. Jessica Aggie, and Injury Prevention Coordinator with the Medical Center Hospital, leads a team of medical professionals in educating the community on the dangers of fentanyl and how to respond if someone you know suffers an overdose. She says pharmaceutical fentanyl is used all the time in a hospital setting, but stressed that the street drugs laced with illegal fentanyl are far from safe.
The dangers of fentanyl is that they're making it out on the streets. And so I use this analogy when we teach our fent class. Like, when it's made out in the streets and not in a lab, what's happening is that it's not regulated. So we don't know exactly how much is going into it. So for instance, let's say we're making a batch of cookies. In that batch of cookies, we're going to put chocolate chips, and we lay out all of our cookie dough. And is every single chocolate chip cookie going to have the same amount of chocolate chips? Absolutely not. It's the same thing with fentanyl.
A recent study done by the Drug Enforcement Agency showed that 7 out of every 10 counterfeit pills tested contained more than 2 times the legal limit or lethal limit of fentanyl. Signs to be on the lookout for when someone may be suffering an opioid overdose: slow or no breathing, pale, cold, or blue skin, loss of consciousness, and choking. A way to combat these overdoses: naloxone. Naloxone is a safe and effective medication that reverses the effects of an opioid overdose and is a critical tool in keeping an overdose from becoming fatal. Typically, naloxone will be administered in the event of an overdose by medical professionals, but the life-saving drug is also available to purchase and carry on your person in the state of Texas should an incident happen. Naloxone can be found in pharmacies through Texas like Walgreens and CVS, as well as some other markets like Kroger and Walmart. There are also online spaces to purchase naloxone and have it shipped to you, such as naloxoneexchange.com and More Narcan Please. The Permian Basin Regional Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse also offers classes and presentations on how to administer the naloxone. While naloxone is a life-saving drug, a more important step in the fight against fentanyl is prevention from the start. We spoke to local law enforcement on identifying when your loved ones are using fentanyl and how to step in before something happens.
Even just a fingertip amount of fentanyl is enough for somebody to overdose.
That's Detective Corporal Reyes, who works with the property unit on fighting crime and narcotics here in Odessa.
Recently, I have noticed that it's a lot more popular, especially in the younger ages, like between the ages of 15 to up to like 17.
Teens are being influenced by music and pop culture and inquiring on social apps like TikTok and Snapchat. Though conversations may be private, detectives are still able to track those exchanges.
If we're able to get a search warrant on the phone, we can actually dump all the information from that phone, even information that's been deleted.
So detectives recommend if students are aware of narcotics and fentanyl use amongst their peers, they are encouraged to contact a trustworthy adult, leave anonymous tips online, or call Crime Stoppers.
A few, maybe like 30 minutes of being high is not worth risking your life.
That was our Chandler Foreman reporting. When addressing the dangers of fentanyl with your children, here are some tips from the DEA for parents and caregivers. Encourage open and honest communication. Explain what fentanyl is and why it is so dangerous. Stress not to take any pills that were not prescribed to you from a doctor. One or no pill purchased on social media is safe. Create an exit plan to help your child know what to do if they're pressured to take a pill or use drugs. For anyone currently facing addiction, you're always encouraged to speak up and reach out. Hotlines like Never Use Alone is always available if you or a loved one need intervention or support with addiction.
And it could happen to anybody. And that's the message. That's why we're trying to do this, because it could happen to your A honor roll student. It could happen to your kid that's failing, to your athlete, or to your kid that's struggling every day.
And be sure to join us later tonight at 5, 6, and 10 as we hear the story of one local family's own loss to fentanyl and what they want others to know so others don't have to go through the same tragedy. Again, that's later tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We'll be bringing you more stories about fentanyl awareness and how locals are combating the deadly drug here on ABC Big 2.